Section 13. Cell referencing and formulas. In this section, we are looking at cell referencing and working with formulas in Excel. It will cover the following questions. 28A, cell referencing. 28B, cell referencing. 29A, sum, average, min, and max functions. 29B, count functions. 29C, if functions. 29D, left, mid, and right functions. 29E, upper, lower, and len functions. 29F, concat and text join functions from the study guide, which is provided to you with this course.
So when I type this particular formula, I've typed it with $Q, $2, whereas here I've typed only Q2. तो मैंने दोनों फॉर्मूला टाइप किए, दोनों करेक्ट है. आप अगर मेरे से पूछोगे तो दोनों करेक्ट है. There is no problem in both the formulas. It's giving you the correct answer. The problem doesn't happen now. The problem happens when I want to copy this formula. कि भाई मुझे ये फॉर्मूला वापस टाइप नहीं करना, मुझे ऑटोमेटिक फॉर्मूला को फिल करना है. तो इधर तो मुझे आंसर मिलता नहीं है, बट जब मैं यहां करता हूं तो मुझे आंसर मिल जाता है. तो ये डॉलर कर रहा क्या है? ये जो डॉलर है वो करता क्या है? वो बेसिकली लॉक करता है. द डॉलर सिंबल इज लॉकिंग दिस सेल and telling me that whenever you will do an autofill, we will not capture the cell next to this one. Simple explanation. When I'm doing an autofill, what is happening? My B6 is changing to C6. Right or wrong? मेरा B6 C6 में चेंज हो रहा है. देखो ऊपर फॉर्मूला में चेंज हो रहा है. और मेरा Q2 R2 में चेंज हो रहा है. Because when you autofill any formula, it is going to pick up the cell which is next to it in both the cases. The first case, it is B2. The second case, it is Q2. So when I autofill it, वो B2 के जगह पे B6 के जगह पे C6 डालेगा और Q2 के जगह पे R2 डालेगा. तो what he is doing is absolutely correct. When you are dragging, the action is performing is right. The problem here is that the value with which I am multiplying my B6 is a static value. It is a value which is not dynamic. वो value change immediately नहीं होगा. और वो एक ही सेल के अंदर है. वो सिर्फ इसमें है, Q2 के अंदर है. R2 में कुछ नहीं टाइप किया है मैंने. Because there is no data in R2, S2, T2, U2, V2, इसीलिए इधर मुझे ब्लैंक आंसर आ रहा है. Because the concept of autofill is it's going to replace one cell name with the next one, and the next one will be the adjacent cell. जो बाजू का सेल है उसको ही पकड़ेगा, वो adjacent cell को ही पकड़ेगा. If I don't want Q2 to change to R2, that's what I don't want. I don't want Q2 to change to R2. I don't mind B6 changing to C6, but I have a problem with Q2 changing to R2. Because of that reason, we put a dollar before Q and dollar before 2 so that we are locking it and saying ये lock हो गया अभी. अब आप B को 6 करो, B6 को C6 करो, D6 करो, E6 करो, मगर Q2 को चेंज नहीं करो. And my answer will come correct. Because the autofill concept is it's going to pick up the adjacent cell to apply the formula. Because of that reason, we are locking Q2 by putting a dollar symbol before the Q and before the 2. तो अब जो मुझे वैल्यू मिलेगा वो करेक्टिव वैल्यू मिलेगा. That is the difference between a formula having a dollar and not having a dollar. So here you can see the classes for worksheet. You'll be surprised to know, but this worksheet is a multi-purpose worksheet. And the functions I'm showing you all now are going to make a lot of logical sense in whatever you plan to do as far as understanding your business or understanding a particular sales target that you have, or understanding a particular amount of sales that you did of a particular product that you have made. It could be even a home business where you could be maybe selling cakes or chocolates or cookies, and you just want to know how your business is doing. This sheet would help you do all of that. Let's understand what is this sheet actually right now reflecting. Right now, as you look at this sheet, you can see there is an attendance pattern which we are looking at. These numbers over here are the number of students attending the class. In the case of this particular sheet, कि भाई योगा में January 7 to 11, I have 37 students attending the batch in the location Clearwater. ये डेल के लोकेशन में मेरे पास 25 स्टूडेंट्स है, डाउनटाउन में 29 है और यूनियन में 25 है. All right, I've got the numbers of all the different batches having different number of students attending. I want to know the total number of students that attend yoga in all my locations. See, the question is very simple. You want to know the total attendance of yoga in your morning batch for all your locations. कि मेरे को total कितने students yoga attend करने आते हैं. So the sum which you are reading over here, this can actually be replaced by total attendance. Now see, every function that I'm showing you all, I'm going to replace that with a very logical approach. So if somebody told you that I want to know the total attendance that we have for all our batches throughout the entire month of January. किसी ने आपको बोला ये question. The answer is so simple. Just imagine. All I will do is say sum, and I will just select these and close the bracket, and I will press enter. But a simple formula, sum ka formula. But what is it giving me? It is giving me the total number of students that I have got in yoga. So I know that 335 students attend my yoga classes throughout the month. The next question that will be asked from you will be, I want to know what is the average strength of your classes. On average, how many students attend your yoga classes? कि average, कहीं पे ज्यादा होंगे, कहीं पे कम होंगे, but उनको बैलेंस करके मुझे average पता लगाना है कि भाई on basis of average I will know as to which is the popular course, isn't it? I always remember, it is not the total number of students alone, but it's also on average how many students attend every batch. So I see the strength of every batch based on the average. So this average that's written over here, it is nothing, but actually it is the total, or let's put it like this, average number attending. ये मेरा average number attending हो गया. Again, very simple formula. I will just use the formula of average and I will do the same thing. Now I know that the total number of students I've been teaching in yoga are 335 and the average number of students attending every class. Let's put it even more. Let's be even more specific. It's 30.4545. That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to just remove my decimal points and I will get it. So the average number of students attending every class are 30. Okay, person will say not bad. On average, you have got 30 people attending your yoga classes in the morning. This is a good number. Then I come to min. Now min and max is again replaced differently. It says minimum number. ये जो min है उसको हम minimum number या min number of students per class. See, I'm being very specific purposely to show you how these functions can be used. So this is minimum number of students per class. कि मुझे पता है average 30 class are 30 students, but सबसे कम students कौन से class में है या which is the lowest number of students I have in a class of yoga. So I will understand here how bad is my yoga class or how good is my yoga class. So मेरा यहाँ min आ गया. I will do. If you realize the functions are very simple, but they have so much meaning. Same thing I'm doing. If you realize I'm repeating the same thing, वही same चीज मैं repeat करता जा रहा हूँ. Equal to min करके P6 to M6 select कर रहा हूँ. I get to know that 24. That means the lowest number of students in a batch is 24. See how well I'm able to analyze my entire structuring of classes. I know how many total number of students I train every month, 335. Average number of students attending every class are 30. And the lowest strength of my class is 24. The same way, I want to know which is the maximum number of students in a class. कि भाई योगा में एक क्लास में एक टाइम पे मैक्सिमम कितने स्टूडेंट्स अटेंड कर रहे हैं. कॉन्सेप्ट वही है, सब कुछ सेम है. इधर मिन के बदले मैक्स कर दूंगा और मैक्स के बाद मैं वही सेम सेल सिलेक्ट कर रहा हूं और ब्रैकेट क्लोज कर रहा हूं. हो गया. The maximum number of students in a class is 41 in case of yoga. The minimum is 24, maximum is 44. On average, about 30 students are attending my yoga class. And the total number is 335. That's the number I teach every month for yoga. Or I have that many students every month doing yoga. The next is count. Abhi count क्या है? काउंट होगा द नंबर ऑफ क्लासेस आई कंडक्ट. देखो ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है. द टोटल नंबर ऑफ क्लासेस विच आर करेंटली बीइंग कंडक्टेड इन अ पर्टिकुलर क्लास. भाई योगा है, स्विमिंग है, डांसिंग है, कि भाई टोटल कितने क्लासेस आप कंडक्ट करते हो. मुझे पता है कि एवरेज 30 अटेंड करते हैं, 24 मेरे मिनिमम क्लास में आते हैं, 41 मेरे मैक्सिमम आते हैं. टोटल मैं 335 स्टूडेंट्स को सिखाता हूं. बट आप कितने क्लासेस या कितने क्लासेस के बदले कितने बैचेस कंडक्ट करते हो. हाउ मेनी बैचेस आर आई कंडक्टिंग. अगेन द फंक्शन इज सो सिंपल. मुझे क्या करना है, मुझे सिर्फ काउंट चूज करना है और वही रेंज B6 to M6 चूज करूंगा एंड आई विल क्लोज माय ब्रैकेट एंड आई विल गेट दैट आई कंडक्ट टोटल 11 बैचेस ऑफ योगा, from where I have 335 students. And obviously from those 11 batches, on average 30 students attend every batch of mine. Lowest 24, highest 41. देखो कितना systematic और कितना beautifully हमारा data आ रहा है. Simple functions but so logical and so important. empty. What is empty? Empty is number of batches not being conducted. How many batches are there that you are not conducting of this particular class? तो मैं यहां पे वही फंक्शन यूज करूंगा, बड़ा सिंपल है, काउंट ब्लैंक इंस्टेड ऑफ काउंट, और वही रेंज सिलेक्ट करूंगा B6 to M6 और क्लोज करूंगा, और मुझे पता चलेगा एक बैच मेरा एम्प्टी है. I know exactly how my business is doing, and what I will do is very simple. I will select this and I will autofill it. What is the advantage of autofilling it? I know every single, I'm going to zoom out. I know of every single class looking at this sheet as to how I'm performing in each of my batches. Average number of students in each of the different courses we conduct. Minimum number of students that we have in each batch from so many different classes that we conduct. The number of maximum students who attend a particular session. The number of batches that are full or empty, and here are the batches which are empty. So I can even call this as number of batches, and not being conducted ke badle, I can just put number of batches which are empty. So now the next question is goal made. Goal made means that how many sessions have I conducted, and based on the sessions that I conduct, I want to know whether I have done good business or not. Goal met means that there has to be a particular number of batches which I need to be full. I should have that many batches running in order for my business to be a success. So that's why there is over here a question which he asked. Have you made the goal? Have you achieved your goal in your business? So I said a very simple thing. I want to know the number of batches which are full, on the basis of which I know whether I'm doing good business or not. तो यहां पे जो मेरे नंबर ऑफ बैचेस फुल है वो मेरा S कॉलम है. That is my column S, no? इधर ही मेरा नंबर ऑफ बैचेस है. यहां पे तो टोटल है नहीं कहीं पे भी. Purposely there is no total being put over here. So if I don't have a total, how will my goal get achieved? मैं टोटल डालूंगा भी नहीं. I can put a total here, but I don't want to put. I'm saying ऐसे ही कैलकुलेट करना है. हाँ ठीक है, नो प्रॉब्लम, कर लेते हैं. To meet our goal, we will use a condition known as the if condition. Equals to if. Go to fx and let's see what is the logical test we have. The logical test is that my batches which are full, so I'm going to drag all these cells. If they are greater than and equal to 175, then my goal is met. Otherwise, my goal has not met. So I use the formula S6 to S36 if it's greater than or equal to 175. I want an answer. Yes, otherwise I want an answer no. And I say okay to it. It's asking me a question value. Because what is S6 to S36? It's just a range. So if I put if sum of S6 to S36 is greater than or equal to 75, then you put a yes, otherwise you put a no. It gives me an answer saying yes. That means the number of batches that you're conducting are equal to 175. This was my if formula. In the logical test, I put sum of S6 to S36. The reason I did this was because I didn't have a total column on my sheet. So I said, you please add up all the numbers from S6 to S36. And if that total of S6 to S36 is greater than or equal to 175, then you will please give me the answer as yes, otherwise as no. So if I go here and if I empty some batches, I just pressing delete. Understand, it is not the number of students, it is the number of batches. मैं 3-4 अगर delete कर देता हूँ batches, मेरा जो goal met है वो automatically no हो जाना चाहिए. So I'm just deleting randomly some numbers from here to see if it becomes no. देखो इतने सारे batches हैं, मतलब मेरे I had bypassed 175. इतने डिलीट करने के बाद भी मेरा गोल मेड नो नहीं आ रहा. कितने बैचेस खाली कर दिए मैं, फिर भी नो नहीं आ रहा. जस्ट इमेजिन, I would not meet my goal. So D says inventory instructors 1 in cell D3 add a function to get the 2 leftmost numbers from cell B3. In cell E3 add a function to get the middle 3 numbers, and in F3 add a function to get the rightmost numbers from cell B3. It's not a very difficult question actually. We have done this when we were trying to do product code, and if you remember, we were trying to create a product name. Same option aa gaya idhar. You all should be able to see the sheet in front of you all. So here he says, first I needed to take out or extract the leftmost number. So I will simply choose the function of left. वो पूछ रहा है टेक्स्ट कहां से चाहिए. मैं बोलता हूँ टेक्स्ट तो मेरे इन्वेंटरी B3 से है. कैरेक्टर्स कितने चाहिए? 2 कैरेक्टर्स चाहिए. So the year has come 17. Then he says, okay, what's your next thing? Next thing, I want to extract 3 numbers from the existing product ka code. So again, I will use mid this time. When I use mid and go to FX, there are 3 options I get in the FX box. पहला ऑप्शन तो मेरा टेक्स्ट ही है, तो मैं बोलता हूँ ठीक है, टेक्स्ट तो यहां से आने वाला है. What's my starting number? My starting number is always the number from where my middle numbers are going to start. From where are my middle numbers going to start? That is my start number. तो जो मेरा स्टार्ट नंबर है वो मेरा नंबर 4 है. Because 1 7-0, I want to start from 0. And from the start number, how many characters you want to add? I say I want to add 3 characters. The 3 characters include the start number. Just remember that. the 3 characters are going to include the start number. तो मैंने स्टार्ट नंबर 4 चूज करने के बाद नंबर ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स 3 चूज किया है. अब जब मैं ओके कर रहा हूं तो आई गेट माई नंबर 002. तो ये मेरा ईयर आ गया, ये मेरा मिड आ गया. And over here I've got the third option, which is right, which says that I want to apply or I want to extract numbers from the right side of the cell. So I choose the right function, I go to fx. In my text box, obviously I will choose the same cell name. And he's saying how many characters from the right? I say I want 2 characters from the right. And I say okay. And here it is. He brought the 2 characters from the right. Now I'm going to simply select all the 3 of them and just going to drag down, and mera pura data autofill ho gaya, where I automatically extracted my numbers from this inventory number. That is how we can extract any number and break it down into 3 columns. Let's start with E. I think I did till D, right, left, and middle. Yes. So we're looking at question E, which is again inventory instructor 2. That's what he says. He tells us use the appropriate formulas to display the names from cells A2 through B4 in cells D2 through E4 using all capital letters. So first he tells us to convert all into capital letters. Then he tells us to display the names in all small letters. And third, he says you please display the length of the text. Okay. So let's look at this question and let's solve this. So there we go. You should be able to see the sheet now. It says display all capital letters over here from A2 all the way to B4. All those words which are typed have to be in capital letters. I'm simply going to use a formula known as upper. Upper stands for uppercase. I'll go to fx and he'll ask me from where you want to pick up. I say I want to pick up A2. And I say, okay. So he gives me the uppercase for Amy. Then it's very easy. I'm just going to drag on the side and I will get Jones also in capital letters. And I will drag down and I will have all of them in capital letters. Yeah. So I think this time I will do lower instead of upper. And I will go to fx. I'll get a fx box. Where is my text? I'll say this time, let's say it is in D2. So I get Amy in all small letters. I drag on the side and then I drag it down. And here it is. I have all the names in small letters. So one was the uppercase, one was the lowercase. That's how we had got our writing in different ways. Next is the length. So the length of a cell is not determined only by the number of characters that you see. You need to understand this very well, that if I had typed a particular word, for example, Amy type kiya hai idhar maine, and I double click, you can see my cursor. Right now my cursor is exactly after Y. गलती से आदत होती है इंसान की, by mistake उसने अगर स्पेस बार दबा के एंटर दबा दिया. You need to understand that the length of this particular cell A2 is not of 3 characters, but of 4 characters. If I had to type LEN and tab, then he would say, yes, from where do you want your data? I'll say I want from A2. He gives me the answer of 4. Whereas actually it is 3. AMI is 3, no? AMY. But he's giving 4 because by mistake, while typing AMI, you had given a space. Uske wajah se, instead of 3, he's showing you 4 characters. By backspace and press enter, now it becomes 3 characters. That's why the length function is very important, to know exactly whether the number of characters that we can see and the number of characters that we are counting. Depends not only on the number of characters you see, but also on the spaces that you create. All right. So length bhi ho gaya. If I want other lengths also, I will just drag like this and drag down. I get length of all the text. It's question F. Inventory instructors to display the combined first and last name from cells A2 and B2 in cells L2, adding a space between the first and the last name. Fill those values for the other two names. In cell N2, combine the values of cells H2 and G2 with a delimiter of a comma and ignore empty cells. Fill those values for the other two names. So there are two questions which have been put together over here. In the first case, he says you put the full name by giving a space between the first name and the last name. That's the first thing. And the second thing is where he says that you combine the values of the two cells with a comma in between, ignoring empty cells. Okay. So I'm going to open this file and let's look at this question first, where he's told me to create a full name with a space. So to create a full name with a space, as you know, we use a very simple formula known as concat. Concat helps us to add whatever is there in different cells. And it is a function used only for text. So it is going to add only the text values from the cells. So text 1 is what? I say text 1 is AMI, text 2 is Jones. If I say AMI and I say text 2 is Jones, my AMI Jones is going to be joined together without any space in between. My A1 and B2 have joined together. There is no space in between. So my text 2 has to be a space. So I will press the space bar once. And in text 3, I will put B2. So now you can see automatically a space got created. And now AMI Jones will appear, full name with a space in the middle. If I just drag this down, I will have all the names with spaces. This is the way you can create one cell with two different values using the concat function. Similar to the concat function, there is another function in Excel known as text join.
It works very similar to concat. In fact, it does exactly the same job. So in this case, he's telling us now you put the last name first. That means Jones has to come first. Then there has to be a comma and then there has to be the first name. Okay? I will use a function known as text join. Let's see. Under the text join function, we have got three options given to us. First option he says is delimiter. So क्या होना चाहिए delimiter? I say the delimiter here is my comma. Okay. So should I be ignoring empty? I say yes, ignore empty. If I leave that blank, I don't type anything in that. What's my text one? I say my text one is, he says last name has to come first. So in this case, Jones. And what's your text two? Text two is Amy. So I choose the options and I say, okay. And here I got it. I just drag it down and my job is done. Text join did exactly what concat was doing, but the syntax or the format it uses is different and gives us the same result.